A Glorius Mechanical keyboard for the glorious PC Master Race. This is marketing at its finest. I'm Rio Gion and welcome to the channel. If you are a keyboard enthusiast or you like to call yourself one, then chances are you either own this keyboard or you're very familiar with this keyboard. For others, this is a very minimalistic design that appeals to today's modern tech trend. This keyboard goes great with an Instagram picture with your phone and your iWatch and your whatever, plus a small green hipster plant for style. Like, I know I just hit a bunch of landmines and I love it. Anyways, whatever I just described sounds like you, this is the keyboard that's right for you. If you're someone that does not care about what others think of them and just want a good keyboard, then this is also a good choice because it's got the basis done well. The price is not that terrible. It's really the marketing that sells a keyboard. If you are a decent reviewer that's not bought out, then chances are you would instantly recognize this keyboard because it's just another clone Chinese keyboard that a company slapped their logo on it, and in this case, don't, and call it a day. Glorius is smart. They are aware that other companies pay extra costs to slap their logo either on top of the arrow key, which a lot of you guys hate, or do something that's a little bit different to sell the keyboard as their own creation. Well, why not just do nothing and sell that as your own creation? The rise in minimalism really helps this because all they need to do is package this keyboard and call it an enthusiast keyboard and sell them like hotcakes. To be honest, I love the business aspect of their scheme, and I would do the exact same thing if I was them, because it's a lot less money to spend just packaging than putting a spin on an existing product than spending money on packaging along with it. In terms of marketing, get influencers that are into mechanical keyboard space, then use those guys to promote, sit back, and profit. It's brilliant. I love it. So in terms of the actual product, this is another clone Chinese keyboard that use a variety of parts that you have the option to customize yourself, then click and wait. The layout is standard or ISO depending on your choice if you customize your keyboard, which is great because with standard, it's easy to find keycaps in the aftermarket. After all, this is a modular keyboard, so I'm sure you want to mod it once you have it. Besides that, this is a plain keyboard with a white aesthetic, which really makes the keyboard look premium. So if you have friends that don't know any better, you can show off and say you spend like $300 or something, and people would believe it because this thing looks like an Apple product, and you know how expensive those things can be. Anyways, if you go for the black version, you can bring this keyboard along to the office. No one would bat an eye unless they know what it is. Then it could be a great conversation starter. This particular keyboard's rocking the Gateron Brown, and from my time using it, I would say this is better than MX Brown, and I would recommend going with the switch if you're new to mechanical keyboards, but of course there are so many more switches to choose from, especially if you plan on customizing the keyboard. Some of the switches that I'm interested in are the kale colors like copper, bronze, purple. I don't ever remember me talking about this before, but kale has come such a long way from being a cheap knockoff switch of the Cherry MX to something that people are actually excited about when they come out with a new switch. Anyways, tangent aside, these Gateron Browns feel really good to type on. They're tactile, very fun to type from my time reviewing the keyboards, and I would say this is easily tier 1. If you're getting into mechanical keyboards, this is a gateway switch. Anyways, here's what it sounds like. This keyboard uses cherry stabilizers, which is great in my opinion because it's easier to take out the longer keycaps, but I know there are people that prefer the Cold Star stabilizer. For those, we'll be a little bit disappointed to know these use cherry stabilizers. The interesting thing with this keyboard is that it uses the double shot ABS, but it doesn't use the ones that typically come with the Chinese clone keyboards. The easy way to tell is that the circles don't break, so they spend more money on these keycaps, or they source them from a different manufacturer. Whichever the case, I think these are great because they feel good to type on and they won't rub out over time. At least that's what I hope. If yours rub out, let me know. I'll update the video. The flip-up feet does have rubber on them. There's the plastic keycap puller, which does not make sense because this keyboard is advertised for enthusiasts. I'm sure that all enthusiasts would know these plastic keycap pullers will scratch your keycaps, so including them is odd based on what the keyboard is advertised for. Besides that, the back is pretty standard, which does fit the theme, and there are cable management slot, which is a nice addition for those people that have complex setups. The cable is braided with Velcro, the USB tip has a cap, and the tip itself is gold, so I guess it's kinda odd because enthusiast people would like rubber cable and silver tip USB. Then again, I think they would much prefer the cable to be detachable, myself included, because that's one less point of error. This is the same copy-paste software that other clone keyboards use in the market, so when you see one of them, you see them all. For those that have it, this is a very user-friendly software, 3 profile to choose from, macro option. You can change your report rate, there's a handful of lighting option, plus the one you can customize. Overall, this is not a bad software, but I guess the enthusiast probably doesn't care for software because most likely, they'll just use the keyboard plug and play. I believe the enthusiasts hate having software running in the background or PC, so I guess software is probably not that important to them. I think Glorius did a great job with the marketing, and the actual product isn't bad, but for those that buys this, just know it's another clone keyboard chassis that tons of companies use, and you're paying more money for the minimalism, like paying money for a GT3 RS. You're paying more money for the seller to take away things, so if you're fine with that, more power to you. For those that want to show off that you're a elite enthusiast, then make sure to save the box and packaging because that's pretty much the only way people will tell you have an enthusiast level product. For those that just want good bang for buck keyboard, then there are other keyboards that will offer Gateron Brown for a cheaper cost. Just find a clone keyboard with Gateron Brown. I'll provide a link down in the description box for one. Listen, this isn't a bad product. It's just a slightly overpriced one, and this is fine because if you're paying for the marketing, which is something that a Razer fan will truly understand, if you're new, click subscribe, thumbs up, subscribe, and the bell for more content. You guys stay awesome.